So this is going to be a follow-up to yesterday's video. So we did 1 bar of grafts, 15 cells. And this is my swarm box that I put them in. And in this box, there's a frame of pollen, a frame of honey, about 15 frames of bees, nurse bees, and they're trapped. They're a captive audience. And then I feed with a sugar syrup bucket, 1-to-1 sugar syrup in there. And the pollen is bee bread. And what we're going to do is we're going to just open it up and we're going to take a look at the grafts and see what they look like. These are carnelians, so I always label what kind of grafts they were. So we did carnelians yesterday. So I just took a nuke box. This is what it looks like. Remember, there's only 15 cells in here. We could have probably done like 60 cells all at once yesterday, but we just did one bar. I'm just gonna set these guys down. So I put on one side, this is a honey frame. This side is a pollen frame. And this is the bar. So you look at that, you see how much coverage there is there? So I'm just gonna lightly sweep these bees off so we can see what's going on. And then you can see how many actually got accepted. So it looks like...
These were the 15 we did yesterday.
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 out of 15 got accepted.
And how are we telling that they're accepted?
So what I'm looking at is how much white royal jelly is in the bottom of the cell cups. And the first indication is you see how they've built comb. They've built the cell on the outside there of the cup. They do that to all the ones that are accepted. So this one's not accepted, this one right here, but this one is, right? So you can see they just started making the queen cell. So pretty much every one of these is done except for 2. Just this one and that one didn't work out.
Okay.
That's a really, really high acceptance rate. And so,
Turn this around here, get a different angle.
Yeah. So you can kind of see what they look like. There's actually 3. You see one here, one there, and one right here that may or may not be accepted.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Really cool. So you see how docile they are. They're super happy. So where did these bees come from? Any random hive. Right off the brood frames.
Any random hive, so...
Doesn't matter which hive. Any random hive just cannot have a queen. And they were in this box. They were in this box for 24 hours before I put these cells in here.
Can you explain a little something about the box itself?
Yep. So
the
the box is actually a nuke box, and then I took another nuke box and I drilled holes in there on both sides for ventilation, and then I put a mesh on the inside of there, so that way they can't escape. So they're stuck in this box. And then I put this box, I actually put it in my well house, which is cool and dark. So I put them in the dark for 24 hours. And then and they're locked in there. And then what's happening is they're fed, and all these nurse bees are just ready to puke their guts out of royal jelly because they haven't been able to take care of any larvae for 24 hours. So then what happens is they, when they get those grafts, they literally are just regurgitating all that royal jelly out all at once onto these grafts, making them perfect. And you see there's a ton of bees on there. You want extremely good coverage. If this frame can hold 3 bars on a single frame, if you didn't have enough bees, kind of how it would look is like an inverted rainbow. So this frame will hold 3 bars, a bar here and another bar here. And if you didn't have enough bees, you'd get this kind of a coverage pattern, and all the cells on the outside are not going to get accepted because there's not enough bees to cover.
So
we only did 1 bar.
right, but
I normally do about 45 bars per frame.
in this box, yesterday you told me how many frames of bees you shook into that box?
20 frames. Now some of the bees are flying out while you're putting them in. The ones that are flying out are workers. Those are foragers, so you don't even really want those ones anyways. Most nurse bees can't really fly when they first start their life. Those are the ones that you want. Those are the ones that you actually want to. Those are the ones that you actually want in the box. So we made up. This is a cell finisher colony. Yesterday we made this up before we actually did our grafting. I'm just gonna set this down for a second. And so what did I do? I took another random hive and I put the queen downstairs. They glued it down already. I went to a large 20 frame hive. Just one that was full of bees. And we sorted it out so that the queen is downstairs with a bunch of comb and places to lay. Then we put a queen excluder on there. Then we came upstairs and we sorted it out so that there's eggs and larvae only up here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this frame in here right next to the eggs and larvae. And so these nurse bees that are upstairs taking care of the eggs and larvae are going to take care of those grafts. And you can see there's a lot of bees in this box.
I'm going to move away from the entrance here.
Yeah. So the queen that's downstairs, she can't get to these cells. Normally a queen will randomly walk through the hive, and if she comes across a queen cell that she doesn't like, she'll destroy it. She'll tell the workers to tear it down, and they'll all rip it apart and tear it down. In this circumstance, she's got a queen excluder, so she can't come upstairs and say, hey, you got to tear those cells down. She can't get anywhere near them. Look at that.
Wow, that's a beautiful brood frame right there.
So what I told you yesterday, these white frames, I buy all my frames from Pureco. They ran out of black frames. so I got stuck with a bunch of white ones. And these frames got put in this box less than a month ago. And they're already all built out. Less than a month.
So, the age-old question. Plastic frames or wooden frames?
Plastic is way better. So I just so happen to have a wooden one sitting here. This is what happens to wooden frames right here. See that? It's a good frame, but guess what? It's all broken. You know, they built it out, but it's a broken frame. The ears fall off.
Okay.
Of the frames. And it just happens when you go to pull when you stick your hive tool in there like this and you go like this to pull it up, it'll break it off sometimes because they're all glued together. As a commercial beekeeper, I don't have time to go scrape burr comb off of every single hive, so they all get glued together pretty good. So we're gonna take this frame, nurse bees and all, and we're gonna just stick it right in here. Ta-da!
And that was the grafting frame.
That's our grafting frame. And so what's going to happen is so this has got brood, this has got eggs and larvae, this is all the grafts. There's only 15 of them in there. This massive colony is going to give these bees, these queens, an abundance of resources, abundance of royal jelly. And they're going to take care of them, and they're going to make them the best queens possible. And you only want to do this on a big, strong hive. If you stuck these cells in a weak hive, those queens are not going to get the nutrients and the resources needed to make amazing queens. They're going to be weak queens. The cells are going to be small. They're not going to get the nutritional value that they need, and then they're just going to be not very good queens. So all of my queens are grafted and set up in hives like this. And this is a huge colony. You want to compress the bees into a small space to make the best. That way they can keep them warm, and they've got lots of bees to take care of them.
And so, after you close that up there,
Yeah.
when you're finished, then you just graft some more bees and put them in the
Find another colony.
yeah, and
Just start over and do it all over again every day.
in the same rearing box there.
Yeah, so this hive, so kind of how it works, every 3 days you can add another frame of grafts to this hive. Every 3 days, 3 to 4 days. Because what happens is these are in a certain life cycle. They're at the beginning of their graft when they need all the royal jelly they can get. And so in 3 days, I can go add another frame right here. And in 3 more days, I can add another frame right here. And just basically every 3 days put a new graft frame in here. So these, and then within a certain time, this one is coming out, going into my incubator, and then another frame is going in. And so you can actually rotate a frame into this hive every 3 days.
And so how many days should we expect the grafting frame that we just put in there? How many days can we expect
These
for
queens,
those to actually come out and be queens?
so on 8/4,
8/4.
yeah, August 4th, these are going to be hatching. So on August 3rd, they're going to go into nukes. On August 2nd, I'm going to make up those nucleus colonies. On August 1st, they're going to go into an incubator. So I have an incubator that holds 1,000 queen cells all at the same time.
Wow.
And I put them in the incubator because if I just so happen to graft one of those cells that was a 2-day-old larva, it will hatch a day before all the other cells. And in the incubator, they're in a controlled environment, so that queen, that virgin queen that hatched out, can't go and destroy all the other cells. They can literally, a virgin queen can rip down 20 cells in a day.
Wow.
So she could literally decimate all the effort if one hatched out before the others. So that's also why you want to pull them out 2 days before or a day before they're gonna hatch. I like to get them into the nukes before they hatch. I think there's a better acceptance when you put them into the nukes prior to them hatching.
Right on.
I don't like to hatch them in the incubator. Some people will hatch them in the incubator and then feed them in the incubator. They're hard to take care of. So
I'd imagine that there's hatching a queen in an incubator, there's probably a lower acceptance rate than actually having them hatch out while they're actually inside.
They're like babies. They want to be fed every 3 hours.
Yeah.
Honey, and you could imagine trying to feed 1,000 queens in an incubator. It's just a nightmare. So I'd rather just build nukes and put them in the nukes and let them take care of them.
Yep.
Yep. So anyways, another beautiful hive. So this is kind of like, this is how I want my hives to look at the end of August. I'm all about making bees, not about making honey. And so I want them to be 20 frames like this in August. And this is already in July. We're in July still. So.
I'm looking around this side.
So I'm gonna feed this hive now that they've got grafts. I actually fed them yesterday too. There's a frame feeder. There's a frame feeder down here on frame space 1 and 2. We filled it up with sugar syrup. So when I made this, I fed them. So this swarm box, I could do another couple grafts if I wanted to. Or I could go start a new nucleus colony, or I could, I could do anything with these bees. I could go back and dump them into the original hive that they came out of. But I like to use them for other, like making nukes stronger or making more grafts. I try and only do a couple days worth of grafting with this box. I go through a lot of effort to try and just get nurse bees. When I'm done with them though, I'll put them into a hive that's getting a new queen cell.
Okay.
And then and then it'll build up that hive. Because these are all nurse bees. They've got about 3 months to live. Well, that's the follow-up for the grafts. This is Stanwood Bee Company, and if you like my videos, we're going to be doing a lot more videos, so make sure you subscribe and like the channel. And then also, if you like what I'm doing with my queens are available on my website all the way to the end of September for queen replacements. So if you go to www.stanwoodbeeco.com, you can still buy nukes and queens from me, and or brood frames to boost your colonies. So check that out, and I appreciate the business. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.